Good afternoon, everybody. And we know very well that the whole world, including Bangladesh, is passing through a very crucial time due to the coronavirus outbreak. So this is our responsibility to keep ourselves and children safe. Please stay at home and stay safe. And I'm really very happy with the YouTube and my special thanks to Google Chrome. And today I'm going to discuss modernism in literature from three different phases. Before going to talk about three different phases, we have to know about modernism. What is modernism? Modernism does not necessarily mean anything. We should be considered with time. So modern time is not modernism. It is more related to context than to time. It must be noticed that modernism is related to its subject matter, attitude, tendency, nature and scope, outlook, but not its time span. It's a matter of characteristics. If the features are modern, it is modernism, otherwise not. Any piece of modern literature can belong to Greek or Roman tradition of Caesarean age. For example, Hamlet, though it was written down in the Elizabethan period by William Shakespeare, but it's a modern drama because it has many modern elements. In other words, modernism means sensitivity, which shock all over the sense of the world. The two biggest world wars and their causes and effects influentially, largely influenced the modern period, modern literature. Now, modernism from different phases. Narrowly speaking, the span from the date of Queen Victoria to the beginning of the Second World War is called the modern period. So, the concept of modernism can be found and seen from different phases, especially three different phases. The first phase. The first phase begins with the introduction of the Renaissance, where you see the bade farewell to the medieval, middle and medieval ages, which was based upon religion and dogma, and welcome the Renaissance, which based upon science and technology. This can be considered a part of modernism because this movement of rebirth is regarded as the birth of the modern world, out of the ashes of the dark ages as the discovery of the world and the discovery of man, as well as the era of untrammeled individualism in life, thought, religion, art. More interestingly and truly speaking, the most important fact of Renaissance is humanism, where you see human being is the predominance of humanism. As the new processes were set in motion, which gave a rude shock to the ideals and conception of the Middle Ages, and there was a new awakening. There was a new awakening in every sphere of life. So we can claim the first part of modernism as the first phase of. We can claim the first part of Renaissance as the first phase of modernism. Now the second phase. The second phase begins with the introduction of the 18th century Enlightenment, the age of reason. The age of reason was less a period of imaginative creation than one of criticism, of the ideal, moral, social, political, economical, and literary significance deficiencies at the time. More interestingly, the fullest and finest technology of this age was bloomed so much that the lifestyle of man was completely changed and they were gradually developing with a new concept. So from this point of view, it can be claimed as the second phase of modernism. Then the final phase, the third phase. So we left behind the blood, the Middle Ages, and are forwarding ahead with hope and inspiration. The first phase renders hope and inspiration, which are multiplied by the second phase. But in the third phase, modernism takes a crucial turn in the early part of the 20th century. The two biggest world wars, in the First World War, 60 lakh Jews are murdered, and in the Second World War, as many as 15 million people are killed, have made such a terrific effect that they felt frightened, panicked, and afraid of doing anything and getting instant. Here we must mention the name of Hitler, by whom the Second World War was directed. Hitler was such a diabolical, powerful personality that nobody dared to challenge his power. In fact, he was so touchy, eloquent, that his enchanting and fascinating speech was never made by anyone. After the First World War, League of Nations and Vienna Convention, both of them hoped very much. But Hitler followed neither, but Hitler followed neither the League of Nations nor the Vienna Convention. As a result, imperialism became a disturbing factor in the world. Class feeling became very dominant. Germany became the rival of England that brought about the Second World War. So that's all for today. Thank you very much for your cooperation and coordination.